Hello and welcome to the Sensual Being podcast with myself, your host, Jolene Whiting. I have been a pole dance teacher for nearly 20 years. I'm also a yoga instructor, and my favourite pastimes are connecting to my own sensuality, connecting with the world, and connecting with animals as well. In this podcast, you'll find new and inventive ways of how you see yourself, connecting yourself with others, and also how you see and view the world around you. In today's episode, we are going to look at how old photos and videos of ourselves and our loved ones can pull us into the past and take us out of the present moment. Thank you, you sensual being, for joining me today for this chat. I want to have a chat with you about photos and videos. So I've been doing a lot of work around this area with my mind, with my attachment to photos. So I have quite a mixed bag review on this. And I'm hoping that this might sort of shed some light on your life and how you see photos and videos of your life. So, a few different things. So, I feel like we can have an unhealthy attachment to photos. And I'm going to describe to you a scenario and we can see how unhealthy it is for you right now. So, if you have a Facebook account or an Instagram account and you've had it for quite a few years, you've got quite a lot of photos and videos on there, you're using it as your main storage maybe, because it's so convenient. And one day you wake up, you go on it and it's all gone. How do you feel? Or do you keep all of your photos and videos on your phone and you lose your phone? And you're like, oh my God, all my photos and videos are gone. How do you feel? Now, I've been on the receiving end of this and thought, oh my God, I've lost all my photos. I'm so upset. I haven't lost the people in them. I have just lost the photos and videos. Yes, I might never get them back, but they're gone. But how does that make you feel? If you were like me, how I was a few years ago, I cut up, but even the thought about it, you're like, oh my God, why did you say that, Jolene? My heart is racing now. Don't worry, it's all still there. I haven't taken it away. But this sort of unhealthy attachment to stuff, it's quite a dodgy area. So I found that I try to detach myself from it because, so with photos and stuff, I find that when you look at photos, well, they can be beautiful and everything, but particularly when you're talking about people or skills that you had, or maybe you don't have them as much anymore, you can look back and you can glorify nostalgia. So you can look back and go, oh, our life was so much better then, wasn't it? It was so much easier. Do you remember? And I'm not saying don't go back and look at memories, but it's going back and looking at them from a healthy point of view. So if we glorify nostalgia too much, we would get taken back. And I bet it's a bit like when women give birth and then they go a few months later, oh, it'd be lovely to have another one, won't it? It's like there's something in women, maybe not all women, but some women that will forget quite how bad it could have been when they were given labour at that time. They were in labour. And then they're like, oh, I want another one. Because the joy of like the beauty of having that baby, that child, that connection is so strong that they forget all the bad stuff. Yeah. So if you think about this sort of thing where you're looking back and think, oh, so many people look back and go, oh, so much thinner then. So much thinner then. For a start, it's just so irrelevant sometimes. It really is. But you might forget that maybe it was hard being thinner then. Whatever you perceive, maybe you weren't actually happy. And it's not the case of all the time, but I'm just trying to say that sometimes when we look back, we can glorify nostalgia and we're not actually looking at what it actually was like at the time, our happiness level at the time. And now we're thinking, if we got back to there, if I was younger and I was there again, it would be different, and it's not. The time is right now. The present is what is happening right now. What's happening in the future hasn't happened. What's happened in the past is gone. So we need to try and make sure we keep our thoughts under control with this type of thing. Because if we let our photos and videos and things hold us in the past too much, it will create depression. It will draw us back into the past. And we don't want to do that. And if you were someone who has suffered with depression before, whether it's like you've been clinically depressed, or if you've had some sort of shock in your life and it's completely changed how you are because you've gone through things, then you are more susceptible to this as well. So anyone is susceptible to this, but if you've already had any sort of depression in your life and you get lost in looking back, just be very careful about that. So when we have all of our photos and everything online or on a phone or something, try and take back control. Because obviously if Instagram and Facebook or whatever, drops your account off for whatever reason, that is gone. Yeah. So what you can do, take steps to think, maybe I'll take some photos down, from like donkey years ago. You don't need them up. We take them down. Or you could make sure you save them onto a hard drive for yourself. Maybe you print them out. So what I did with my Instagram, I deleted loads, and I haven't done it for a couple of years, but I started to try every year. At the start of the year, I delete a hell of a lot of content from that previous year, and then I just try to keep on top of it. Bit behind now, but I also feel like I haven't got quite the same attachment either, so maybe that's why I've let myself fall behind. I'm not sure. So what I did is I had some little photo books printed out of some photos I didn't want to lose, and I found that helped. And you know what, oddly, had those printed out, deleted them off the account that they were on, and then I barely looked at the photo book. So it just goes to show how the attachment to them is not necessarily valid as in an everyday occurrence of, I'm gonna miss those photos if I didn't have them. Actually, I don't even know if I could tell you what's in those photo books. I really don't. So I want you to kind of have a think about how you do photos. And have you ever seen, you've been to a beautiful place and you'll see somebody just walk up, take a photo of the landscape or whatever, and then walk off, and you think you weren't there, you're not there. Or you see everybody at a concert holding up, and sometimes you just want a picture as a memory or whatever, but sometimes you see people relentlessly holding their hand up. I'm doing it now. Holding their hand up with their phone, recording kind of everything. Why? Admittedly, I know I'm short and I can't see, so arguably maybe that's a good reason to do it. I don't know. But when you are looking through a screen, it's like when people have said to me before, if I've been dancing, do you want me to video it for you? And I'm like, no, I'll put it on a tripod. And then you can watch it with your own eyes. Because whenever I watch people perform, if I have to record it for them, I don't see them because you're looking through a screen, and you miss so much when you were just looking through a screen all the time and not just fully committed to being there in the moment. So when it comes to taking videos and photos, so sometimes what I do, I like to, if I turn up somewhere and it's oh my God, that looks beautiful, if I really, really want it as a photo, I'll take the photo. Then I'll put the phone away, and then that's it. I'm just looking at the view for however long, hours, I don't know. My friend Kat is the opposite. She will be there and taking the view first and then take the photo last. So there is no right or wrong way to do this, but make sure you are present. And when it comes to taking a photo, when you next take photos, ask why. Why are you taking them? Why do you want it? Do you want it for your memory bank? Do you want it to send to somebody personally? Do you want it to go on Facebook or Instagram? Is it is it valid why you actually want that photo? Do you need it? Because I feel like I'm quite big into decluttering, sort of getting rid of stuff from my life that I don't really need. And I find photos can be highly stressful when you look at your phone and you've got like 1,000 in one little folder, and then you've got more folders and more folders. Oh my God. I find it personally quite stressful. I'm not saying I don't have many photos. I'm saying I find it's quite stressful to manage them in my mind. So all these photos, all these things that you're taking, do you actually need it? Ask yourself. It's interesting. It's interesting because you might find you don't. I have said to my partner before, I'm so like morbid sometimes, but I have said to him before, like, I do want a photo whilst we're here, because you shouldn't keep, because he doesn't really like me taking photos of him. So it's fair enough. I respect that. But also I want him to respect that this could be the last time we go to this place or go on this holiday or something. So I just like now just to get one photo of us two together, and that would be it. Before, like a few years ago, I'd be taking loads of photos. Now I only take, like, I just get one, and that's actually it. And do you know what? I even feel like that's more than what I need. I actually, on the last time we went away, we took our little photo on a balcony, and I actually thought, I don't need it. I don't need it. And that was the first time I've ever thought that. So all of this is a process, and it's about finding what works for you. But to understand that photos can pull you into the past is very, very strong. It's very powerful. So just be very wary of how you're using photos, why you're using photos, and what your thoughts and feelings are with them. Okay? So I hope that has helped you in any way, shape or form. Maybe it's given you a new way to think about things. I will love and leave you there. Remember to lead through your life with your heart and to live with intention. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, please do share it with your friends and on social media. If you have the time to rate or review this podcast, I'd be ever so grateful. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at Jolene Sensual Being. The links to my YouTube and to sign up to my mailing list will be in the show notes as well. I look forward to speaking with you again very soon.